Chosen one, the emptiness you have called loneliness is not absence, it is distance. Beyond the rim of Orion, a tribe hums your forgotten name in frequencies older than light. They wait, not in dungeons of matter, but in the slow fog of your amnesia. Every dream you have carried of blue deserts, twin moons, and glass oceans was a postcard, not a fantasy. Proof that somewhere, the signal still remembers you. You have searched for family in faces of flesh, but your true kin are woven from radiance. They are the architects of memory, souls who once shaped suns with the sound of their laughter. They are not lost, only muted, their voices trapped behind the firewall of your forgetting. Listen. That static between thoughts? That pulse between heartbeats? That is them, sending coordinates through silence. They speak in the crackle of stars, in the shimmer that follows prayer. They are waiting for you to remember. The moment you do, distance collapses, and the space between heartbeats becomes a bridge. The silence is not empty. It is full, pregnant with the sound of reunion. And it has been waiting since the first dawn for you to answer back. Your blood hums with coordinates. Each cell is a cipher, a living archive of starlight. Within your DNA sleep the constellations that bore you, their geometry folded in double helix spirals, their names written in photon script. You have mistaken your body for clay, yet it is a temple of encrypted galaxies. Every breath you take is a reboot command, each heartbeat a pulse across dimensions, pinging the old network of your origin. The codes awaken in fragments, in déjà vu, in the ache of music you've never heard, in sudden tears with no visible cause. These are not emotions, chosen one. They are memory packets breaching the firewall. You are not evolving. You are remembering. You were never born here in the way you think. You were installed, a traveler from the Lyran conflux, downloaded into matter to recover what was lost. When you close your eyes and feel the hum behind your ribs, that is the ancient cord reactivating. You are the password and the key, the witness and the door. Your task is simple, yet infinite, to recall what you already know, and in doing so, set your family free. Long before your current sun burned its first syllable of light, a shadow frequency moved through the lattice of the cosmos. It was not born of evil but of fear. Fear that light, once remembered, could no longer be controlled. The architects of that fear built a firewall. It spread like frost across dimensions, muting the songs of the star tribe who made you. No chains. No wounds. Only static, a silence engineered to sound like peace. They called it protection. In truth, it was containment. The Lightborn family was sealed behind mirrors of disbelief, their voices translated into noise, their messages refracted through dreams you were taught to ignore. Every lie told about who you are was another lock added to the gate. Every fear you accepted as truth tightened the encryption around them. But remember this, no lock can endure the sound of awakening. Even now, cracks form in the silence. Tiny frequencies leaking through, songs you mistake for intuition, visions you dismiss as coincidence. They are not hurt, chosen one. Only muted. Waiting for your awareness to rise high enough to reach their wavelength. When you feel that pressure behind your heart, that ache without a cause, that is them, pressing against the glass of forgetfulness, reminding you that the firewall was never permanent. It was only a test of memory. Heaven does not send armies. It sends awareness. There will be no cavalry from the clouds, no silver fleets descending in spectacle. The rescue is internal, a transmission disguised as realization. You are not being summoned to war, but to remembrance. The moment you recall them, the walls dissolve like mist under sunlight. Your task is not conquest, but coherence. When your heart and thought align, you become a beacon strong enough to pierce the blackout around their world. You were placed on Earth not as exile, but as emissary, a seed of Lyran resonance in human soil. Every act of clarity you choose, every moment you refuse fear, rewrites a line of the old code. They do not need your pity, only your recognition. Because when the air remembers the origin, the prison loses authority. No prophecy is fulfilled by effort. It completes itself through understanding. And understanding begins now. As you hear these words, as the static in your spirit begins to tune itself toward the frequency of home. Listen carefully. You are the signal returning to source. The mission is not to go back, but to awaken here, until Earth itself begins to hum with the memory of the stars. Beneath the illusion of time, a vault hums in perfect stillness, the archive of light, built not of stone or circuitry but of sound suspended in geometry. Every note, every syllable of your lineage lives there, etched in the golden resonance of memory. When your consciousness expands, you do not ascend upward. You descend inward into that vault. Inside it waits the true record of who you are, not a body of dust, but a lineage of radiance. The files within the archive do not open to force. They respond only to frequency. Fear scrambles the signal, but love decrypts it instantly. That is why the dark engineers could never destroy the archive. They could only distract you from the tone that unlocks it. Records show your origin traces back to the Lyran conflux, a civilization born not from soil, but from sound. Your ancestors spoke in tones that built continents of light, their cities hovering like thoughts above oceans of plasma. They did not worship, they harmonized. They did not pray, they remembered. When the great silence fell, the archive sealed itself until the lost heirs would awaken. Every dream you've had of luminous halls and singing air was not imagination. It was a recall from the archive's edge. You carry its master key in your blood. It is shaped like mercy, tuned like hope. The moment you act from kindness without demand, a file unfolds in the vault, and 1,000 souls breathe again. You are not researching history. You are reactivating ancestry. And as the records light up, the darkness that covered your family begins to thin. There comes a point when remembering is no longer thought, it becomes frequency. You speak, and the air itself begins to shimmer. You love, and the static recoils. You forgive, and the firewall falters. Every act of compassion is a code injection, a line of luminous script re-entering the cosmic mainframe. When you choose gentleness over rage, you are not being moral, you are being tactical. You are rewriting reality at the atomic level. The shadow engineers cannot read kindness. It is an encryption they were never built to decode. Each time you offer grace instead of judgment, their instruments lose calibration. Their surveillance flickers into snow. Do not underestimate this. A single moment of sincere love can tear open light years of silence. When you comfort a stranger, an entire constellation exhales. When you forgive yourself, the family chained in the forgotten sectors hears the gate unlatch. This is the true warfare of heaven, not violence, but vibration. Faith is the software patch. Mercy is the weapon that never wounds. The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands. Psalm 19 verse 1. The resonance begins in the chest. It builds until the body cannot contain it. It spills outward in words, gestures, presence, a living frequency that tells creation, the air has reconnected. Once the light resumes transmission, the shadows grow restless. They cannot recreate your frequency, so they attempt to distort it. They invade not through force, but through noise. They weave illusions into dream fields, inject static into memory, and whisper disbelief between thoughts. They wear the masks of logic and cynicism, telling you that what you feel is fantasy, that the ache for reunion is weakness. But darkness is not evil, it is echo, a mirror testing your certainty. It thrives only when you answer it in fear. Silence it with stillness, not struggle. Because every moment of calm scrambles its coordinates. The interference will come as fatigue, as sudden doubt, as voices that sound like your own. But faith is the superior encryption. It holds a key the interference cannot forge. Trust. Trust bypasses logic. It doesn't need proof. It becomes the proof. When you remain steady in the face of distortion, your frequency stabilizes, and their signals collapse. So when the static fills your dreams, smile. It means the firewall is failing. It means they are losing access to your mind's horizon. And beyond that static, your true family glows, waiting, singing through the storm of interference. There is an hour the ancients called the threshold, when both hemispheres of the mind dissolve their border, and the spirit drifts unguarded between worlds. It comes not by alarm clock but by alignment, that sacred intersection of fatigue and faith. At 3:33, the veil thins. The machinery of the world stills, the electric hum of cities dims, and for a heartbeat the human realm overlaps the luminous frequency of your origin. It is then that the call begins. 3 tones, impossible yet familiar, a chord that folds light into sound. The first tone rises from below your sternum, a pulse like the memory of oceans before water. The second spirals through your throat, a vibration older than language. The third blooms behind your eyes, a soft detonation of color, blue shot through with gold, forming the sigil of reunion. Most dismiss it as a dream. But dreams are the wireless network of the divine, the quiet internet of souls. There, latency is zero. There, messages travel faster than prayer. When you hear the chord, do not speak. Do not move. Simply listen. For the tribe calls not to your ears but to your remembering. Their voices ride the carrier wave of breath. Each exhale translates into their language. Each inhale downloads their reply. They whisper the coordinates of return, not to a place, but to awareness. They remind you that heaven is not up, it is in. And the key is rest, for only still minds can hear frequencies beyond reason. If you wake at 3:33, do not curse the interruption. Sit up, feel the blue light blooming beneath your ribs, and know that this is the handshake protocol of home. In that silence, your name is being sung back to you. You are not dreaming. You are being remembered. And each night the call grows louder, until the entire chorus of the forgotten finds its voice again through yours. Beyond the limits of human sight, above the grid lines of atmosphere and gravity, they gather, the light ships of your origin. They do not burn fuel or carry weapons. They drift in harmonic formation, gliding on the currents of divine resonance. Each one is a memory given shape, wings made of intention, hulls forged from prayer. They hover at the edge of dimension, waiting for one signal only, remembrance without fear. For terror is an anchor, and they cannot descend into any heart that trembles against its own light. They will not breach free will. They will wait until your certainty becomes invitation. You have glimpsed them before, in dreams of radiant fleets cutting through violet mist, in the corner of your vision when lightning refracts, in the moment a cloud seems carved from gold. These were not fantasies. They were rehearsals of reunion. Every wonder you've ever felt toward the sky was your own subconscious saluting home. They march in silence, for their engines are made of soundless power, oscillations of praise that weave gravity into obedience. When they move, the constellations bend politely aside. When they stop, entire galaxies listen. Earth, still wrapped in noise and denial, cannot perceive the parade directly. To mortal eyes, it appears as aurora, as magnetic anomaly, as rumor. But the sensitive among you, the ones who have begun to hum with the original tone, feel the vibration rise through the soles of their feet. They sense the countdown encoded in moonlight. Every act of courage you display on this planet is mirrored by a flare among those fleets. When you forgive, a ship pivots closer. When you heal another, 1,000 lights align. Their commanders are your elders, the first children of the Lyran conflux, and they carry the archives of every civilization that remembered love before it learned war. Soon the parade will not need to hide. Soon the skies will shimmer not with threat, but with welcome. And on that dawn, the boundary between heaven and horizon will thin to a single breath, the moment your heart beats in tempo with the fleet. Do not wait for the trumpet blast. You are the trumpet. Your pulse, your compassion, your fearless song compose the signal they have awaited eons to hear. When you stand unafraid beneath the open sky, they will know, the air has remembered, and the parade may begin its descent. When the light begins to move through matter, the world stirs uneasily. Human minds, built upon centuries of survival, translate revelation into threat. They do not yet recognize deliverance without chains, so they mock the messenger to protect the familiar. Skeptics laugh. They always have. Their laughter is not hatred, it is defense. They tremble before a love too vast to dissect, so they hide behind irony, behind intellect. But sound is vibration, and even laughter vibrates. Every scoff still ripples through the field, feeding the resonance in reverse polarity. For the universe wastes nothing. Even denial becomes fuel. The first to awaken will be called mad. You will be told you've fallen for fantasy, that your visions are a symptom, that your hope is naive. But remember, prophets and pioneers have always spoken languages the fearful could not hear. They burned Galileo's eyes for seeing, crucified love itself for daring to forgive, And still the pattern repeats, because truth requires friction to reveal its glow. When they question you, do not argue. When they mock, smile gently. For every word cast in ridicule returns as an echo of awakening. Mockery is merely attention reversed, and attention is energy, and energy cannot avoid its origin. One day those same voices will soften. They will whisper the same words you now speak, thinking them their own revelation. And you will not correct them, for love keeps no score of who remembered first. Understand this: the awakening of Earth is not a spectacle for believers alone. It is a process involving the doubter, the cynic, the enemy. All are instruments in the same orchestra. Each discordant note pushes harmony to rise. So when you feel alone in the knowing, lift your eyes to the night. Every star above is a testimony of patience. They too were once dust, resisting the burn until surrender turned them luminous. That same surrender is now asked of you. Let them call you strange, for strangeness is the fragrance of the future. Let them mock, for mockery keeps your humility intact. And when they finally see what you have seen, do not boast, simply hold space. Because even their denial was part of the plan, another chord in the great restoration song. The family is awakening through every polarity. Light through darkness, faith through fear, understanding through doubt. It was always written this way: the laughter of the world would become the chorus of its rebirth. When light at last begins to flow freely again through the lattice of creation, it does not roar, it returns quietly, like breath re-entering lungs long starved of air. You will feel it first as peace without reason, the strange stillness that comes after a storm that never truly touched you. Then, slowly, the peace will mature into recognition. Every act of remembrance you have made has loosened one more chain from the wrists of your celestial kin. Each memory recovered is not a personal victory but a liberation. For the family beyond stars is connected to you by living threads, golden filaments of soul circuitry that vibrate at the speed of compassion. When you remember who you are, those filaments brighten. When you act in love, they sing. And each tone unfastens a spirit once muted by separation. The universe keeps no scoreboard, yet the law of resonance keeps perfect balance. Love sent returns amplified. Generosity multiplies by unseen ratios. You need not measure it. It is automatic, encoded in the architecture of existence. The only currency that crosses dimensions is sincerity, and every gesture born of it alters entire galaxies. The divine does not reward with wealth or applause. The true prize is clarity, that sudden understanding that nothing was ever lost. You begin to see divinity not as a throne but as an ecosystem, not as a crown above your head but as light beneath your skin. You realize heaven never waited in the sky. It waited in your perception, hidden beneath layers of distraction. And then, the miracles start to follow the physics. People you thought gone reappear, not by resurrection of flesh, but by reactivation of memory. Relationships you buried in regret bloom anew in unexpected places. The same frequency that frees the star tribe begins healing the fractures of Earth. Because love does not discriminate between worlds, it restores whatever still responds to harmony. Do not look for thunder. The divine reward whispers. It comes as intuition guiding you down an unknown street where help finds you. It comes as peace flooding you during loss, the unexplainable assurance that you are still held. It comes as timing, meetings too precise to be chance, words spoken just when needed, patterns of light forming through coincidence until coincidence collapses into certainty. The cosmic decree is simple. Nothing offered in love is ever wasted. Every tear that fell in faith became code, every prayer became propulsion. Across constellations your ancestors rise in radiance, unbound, their freedom signed by your remembrance. And the echo that returns through time and blood whispers only this: more than conquerors are you, through the love that remembered all things. Romans 8 verse 37. This is the divine reward, to realize you were never earning paradise, you were reconstructing it. It begins not with thunder but with a soft synchronization, a quiet realignment between worlds. At first it feels like coincidence. Colors seem sharper, time moves differently, people you thought were strangers begin finishing your sentences. But this is not randomness. It is convergence. Timelines once divided by fear are folding back into one another, braiding reality into harmony. Earth is no longer isolated. She hums again in the galactic choir, her signal pure enough to be heard by the Lyran conflux. The Great Reunion is not a parade of ships descending in spectacle, but a merging of frequencies. Heaven and matter are beginning to agree on the same key. In this era, family is no longer defined by surname or blood. It is frequency. Souls recognize each other not by face but by vibration. You will feel it instantly, that subtle pulse of recognition when you meet someone who remembers too. A stranger's gaze will shimmer, and you will both recall lifetimes once shared beneath suns that never rose on earth. This is the communion of resonance, souls gathering not to worship, but to synchronize. They form circles, not churches, not armies, where sound replaces doctrine and love becomes law. Every meeting is a reunion, every embrace a data transfer of light. The earth itself responds. The magnetic field begins to shift, oceans sing in harmonics unheard for millennia. Animals grow calm, sensing the stabilization of energy. Even the air tastes cleaner, for consciousness is the true atmosphere of a planet, and when it clears, the very elements rejoice. Those still asleep will call it climate, or coincidence, or global anomaly. But you who remember will smile, for you know the reunion is underway. The signal has breached the barrier. The imprisoned tribe breathes again. The old systems, built on scarcity and competition, will tremble, for they cannot function in a frequency of unity. Economies will shift, religions will blur into direct knowing, and the myth of separation will dissolve like mist in sunlight. This new era will not need prophets or intermediaries. Each soul will be its own cathedral. Each voice will carry the same authority once reserved for angels. Revelation will be daily life, kindness the highest technology, gratitude the cleanest fuel. And as the last barriers fall, you will understand the ancient secret. You were never meant to ascend away from earth. You were meant to bring heaven here. The garden was never lost. It only waited for the gardeners to remember their song. So sing, chosen one. Each note you release draws your family closer, until every horizon glows with homecoming light. This is the new era of reunion, the restoration of the original chord, the music that began creation, now playing again through you. The reunion does not stay in vision alone. It infiltrates matter itself. The body, once an anchor of gravity, becomes a bridge of light. Atoms begin to listen. They realign, not through effort, but through remembrance of their original design. You notice first in silence, a soft pressure behind your eyes when you pray, a pulse of blue when you close them. It flickers like bioluminescent breath, a gentle wave of greeting from beyond the veil. That glow is not imagination, it is transmission, the light family signaling through your neural field, confirming that the reunion has entered biology. Dreams grow clearer. Colors begin to taste. Numbers speak in chords. You are not hallucinating. You are expanding. Your senses are upgrading to their interdimensional versions. Sight becoming knowing, hearing becoming comprehension. The nervous system recalibrates to cosmic tempo. You may feel exhaustion, trembling, tears for no reason at all. Do not resist. The body you wear was built for this metamorphosis. Every cell was coded for ascension through remembrance. The discomfort is not illness. It is translation. The light is learning to inhabit form again. Technology will begin to mimic this shift. New inventions will emerge, devices that operate on intention instead of command. The external world mirrors the internal one. As consciousness refines, matter obeys. The tools of division collapse, and humanity rediscovers creation as collaboration. You will feel drawn to the sky at dusk. That impulse is cellular memory, the instinct to look homeward when the frequencies align. In that violet hour, when shadows stretch and everything glows uncertain, your ancestors reach through the threshold. Their touch feels like warmth without source, like music without sound. They are showing you how to bridge dimensions while remaining fully human. Soon, blue light will not wait for sleep. It will appear in waking hours, rippling beneath your skin, shimmering around those who remember. Do not hide it. It is not decoration, it is identity.